Bro, what is that?
Jesus Christ. Right, okay, so...
Okay, Harvey, take it away, my son.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm doing this.
Improv. Oh, you want to?
I'm doing this? Okay, I'll do this. I'll fucking do this.
Oh, no, yeah, you're okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Noisegate podcast. I'm joined by Maxwell Fleming, David Hudson, and rather unexpectedly, we weren't expecting this at all, and so I said rather unexpectedly, we have Harrison
Bro.
Jones as well.
Bro, I can't believe it. The slander right
This is
now.
a bit of violation. That's a bit of violation.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
you violated me like that.
Unexpectedly.
Well, it wasn't unexpectedly. We planned this podcast for
and
months.
not wanted.
And then on the last day, Harrison Jones is like, bro, I want to part this
Harrison
too.
Jones invited himself. I don't know why.
What are you even doing here, mate? Let's be honest. Come on.
Bro, what
All
the
right.
fuck?
Yeah,
No.
fuck off, Harrison, you little tag along.
All right, son of a bit, boys. Bye.
I swear to fucking Leo to drag you back in. All right.
Okay.
So, how is
guys,
everyone? Everyone good?
We're all pretty sound, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm
Went to a
alright.
gig.
Yeah.
Went
Yeah.
to a gig today, made a veil, and then we went to Molly Malone's afterwards. That was pretty fun.
Whose gig was it today?
It was this band called the Azenas. You'll have seen them on my Instagram story that I'll literally just put up today. It's good. It's really good.
I just saw a geezer with a bowl cut in the front, and I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I know he was sick. He was pretty cool actually. He had a nice voice. He could play the guitar rather splendidly. No, I did really enjoy it. It was a really nice gig. I wasn't expecting much from it, to be fair. I'd never really heard any of the music, and I'd never really heard of them before at all. So I didn't go in with high expectations.
Fucking retard.
Fuck off, man.
Good. I'm
Sorry,
pretty sure we're not allowed to
I
say that, by the way. I don't think we're allowed to
Yeah,
say
but
that.
if you're doing it on Twitch, I don't think they.
Put it on-
This isn't
This
Twitch.
is on Twitch. This is a practice run. That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
We
on
could
Twitch,
just
like,
edit out.
already-
We can just
Yeah,
edit
yeah.
out all the
Also,
bloody shit like that.
Luckily, I'm pretty sure they don't catch on to British slang, so you can call them a spaz.
All right. Spaz.
There you go.
Yeah,
There's
fuck
your
yeah.
option.
Fair enough.
Mate, you're a fucking spastic, mate.
You fucking elbow biter, fucking shoulder nibble.
You fucking beggar mystery cunt.
You fucking cunt.
Mate,
Okay,
what the
I'm
fuck?
trying not to bass boost, but yeah. So we got some new release music, haven't we? We had an album from Idols recently. So we're gonna focus on some newly released music, particularly starting off with the new Idols album, which is brilliant. Mono. No, and it is pretty sick, to be fair.
Right, let's jump into it with the first song, War. What's no, yeah. All I was gonna say for War, it's a great opener. I think it's just a great way to set the tone for the entire album, really.
It's got what they had before, the aggression
Exactly.
before, as well as like a new thing. It's kind of good opening
Exactly.
track.
I think it was just the perfect way to start the album for them, really.
Yeah.
You know, it threw you in it almost kind of threw you in at the deep end, really.
It did.
Like, just straight
100%, yeah.
straight
yeah.
in with the shouty stuff that you're used to with Idols, and
It
yeah.
was great. It was. Yeah, it was a good.
No,
opener.
yeah, but it's at the same time, it's like it felt like an Idol song, but it still felt very different to what they did before, and I think that's why I appreciate it as an opener, because you was able to recognize this is going to be a decent album, but it also kind of showed you this is something that we're going to get some stuff that we're not used to either, which I think is pretty good.
I 100% felt that this was a lot more raw than before. Like it felt a lot more raw and like kind of like Max said, poetic. So it was like a lot more raw and poetic. So then like the beginning song, it kind of like it threw you into the deep end and then kind of showed you the tempo that they'd go through with this. Like it kind of felt like the tempo lowered throughout the and then it just went straight back up.
Yeah, for real.
So
Yeah.
like I think that's what it kind of
did really like the transition of the moods through this album.
It was good. The transitions are brilliant throughout the entire album.
Yeah, for sure.
There was one or two that was a bit just sort of random, but most of them were like solid, flowed into one another quite well.
Yeah.
But War in particular, I thought, yeah, as you said, it was a proper like high start to the album.
Absolutely.
Like, proper high energy, straight off the bat, in the mosh pit. There you go.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It'll be I mean, part of me, I know. I don't know if like any of you actually watch live videos of idols,
I mean,
but they their usual opener at gigs is Colossus, which was obviously the album opener of Joy of an Actor's Resistance.
Yeah.
But part of me wouldn't mind if they replaced that with War. I feel like War would just be as good of a gig opener as
Especially
Colossus.
now at this point.
yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
100%.
But I think for
It's
Colossus,
new.
yeah, no, exactly, it is new. That's brilliant. But at the same time, I
Yeah.
think like Colossus itself, because it starts off slow, it's a bit of like a slow burner, and then
It is a slow burner, but I feel like it's still a good way to. It's a good way to get in your face at the start of a gig. It might be slow, but fuck me, it has a point.
I feel like War is very much an opening song, and maybe maybe for the second song it could be Colossal, and like just lower the tempo a bit, but transition a lot better than like what War would afterwards. So
Yeah.
it's very much like a better transition into what else they have to offer. Like
Yeah.
that's what I like about them, because they have a lot more like to offer all the time. Like you can never be bored of them, because every single time you listen to the music, it's just different. Every time they just fire at you something new, and it's just like, oh, this is fucking sick.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna just quickly fire through my notes for War, and if anyone else has anything to say about War, we'll go straight on to Grounds, which is track 2 of
Yeah.
Ultramono. So I was just gonna say, basically, I've got, just for anyone who doesn't know, I spoke to Maxwell about this yesterday at Spoons, and I've basically, whilst I was on the train on my way to university, I've been. Well, I did the review for this album, and I've basically just sat down and listened to the album. I've done notes on each song, all except for the last one, which was the only song that I strongly disliked. But yeah, for War, I've just written, just listening to it from a musician's perspective. I found it quite interesting structure-wise, because it's split into almost like 3 parts. It's not exactly a verse chorus kind of a vibe going off there. It's more of a part 1, part 2, and part 3, and then you're done kind of thing. So I felt that like as just songwriting, I found that quite interesting, because it's gone through a method that's not quite traditional, which is again interesting. It's different, and that's what we expect from idols, which is great.
Indeed.
Listening to the drums of the track, they were pretty consistent throughout the song, and when I mean consistent, I mean pretty much the exact same drum beat. What I did find interesting is usually you'll listen to a song, and if the drummer just does absolutely nothing different and just does the same kick snare pattern, it does tend to get a bit bland and boring. But for
sometimes it feels like it's kind of dragging you along instead of pushing you forward.
With this, I feel like John Beavis, the drummer of Idols, has done a good job of making a drum beat that sounds quite punchy and interesting, so that he can actually afford to do it consistently throughout the song. Without it feeling like it's just dragging your heels and waiting to get to the next one. Really.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it, in a way, it was like quite rhythmic as well, so it was quite real. So it really fit pretty much everything. Like you could put anything over it, and I feel like it'd do everything quite a lot of justice.
Yeah. Last part I wanted to say about War was just the lyrical context. Very, very, very anti-war, very political, as you say. It's just extremely typical of Idols, really. It's pretty much just what you'd expect from them.
What they do, they just pretty much push the social values, really.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. It's
for the people.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed throughout this album, it's full of metaphorical speech. I mean, and War is absolutely no stranger to that either. The one of the main lyrics is "Send Johnny to the sandbox. We're dying for the stone-faced liars." Quite clearly, a big fat knife throw at the government for governments past and present for getting tying countries into business that they arguably maybe shouldn't exactly be dealing with, but obviously that's not our place to say that. But yeah, that's
but that's what they're trying to push in the song.
That is for sure exactly what they're trying to push. The song is basically just one fat rant, just like how pretty much all Idol songs.
That's a pretty much Idol.
I was gonna say this out of all the fat rants, this is the fat rant that they've made about countries going to war. Really, when some people might argue that this shouldn't be, and that's basically the point of the song. Does anyone else have anything to say about war? Anything at all?
Nope. I think
you've very much, you've very much capitalised what we kind of wanted to say. So
no, I did just a full PE paragraph on the thing.
Okay, so moving on to Grounds, one of the singles that came out before the album.
First weird. One of
the first singles we got. I think it was the second single we got. I'm pretty sure the first one was Mr. Motivator, and then we got Grounds a couple of weeks later. I love this single. I don't actually know anyone who doesn't love this single, to be completely honest with you. It's great. It's experimental. It's probably one of the most experimental songs on this album, and one of the most experimental pieces of work that Idols have done as of yet.
It's got quite a heavy verse drum beat. I like that. It slams down on you quite a bit.
It feels like it has quite a lot of strength behind it. It sort of dies down.
Absolutely.
It's quite quiet, just a bit of vocals, and then all of a sudden, boom! There you go. It slaps you in the face with the guitar and everything. Is brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. Yeah, it is one of the
proper slaps you, man.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's really hard to explain.
I feel like the instrument. I feel like the production on this is absolutely fantastic. I remember seeing. If you can't tell, I've done a bit of fucking research on this shit. But, just a bit. But
turn it down, lad.
I mean, to be honest, I actually stumbled across this bit accidentally. I was just scrolling through YouTube and I was looking at guitar lessons and stuff. And Bowen, who's one of the guitarists, the one with the fat fucking hillbilly mustache. He was going through Grounds and he was teaching Grounds and he was talking about the effects that he uses. And he says that he uses delay, which is pretty much one of most guitarists do use delay, to be fair.
Especially guitarists.
Absolutely. But what Bowen did was he used delay, but he used a modulated delay. So you know the bit where it goes like diddle-a-doon, diddle-a-doon?
Yeah.
He's actually only playing one note and the other notes are just the delay. It's all he plays is that ding, and then the rest of it, the little doodle-doo, is actually the delay, and it's a modulated delay. So it's actually a delay that changes the pitch of the note that he's played, which I think is just fucking genius.
That's quite genius, to be honest. Again, I wouldn't have thought that from just listening.
No, honestly, I had no idea. I thought they were just playing some great funky little riff, but no, he's literally just playing one note, and he just lets the technology do the rest, which is sick. That is just sick.
I think that's one of the things that they're really good at, though. They're really innovative of like anything they can use, they will actually use it.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's different from them really because they are just
they're usually like a plug-in and play type band.
Yeah, they are very. I mean, the most that they've been known to use usually is just distortion and a bit of reverb, maybe to soften it up.
In this, though, they were really it felt like they were being quite innovative anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a very experimental album.
Overall,
I wouldn't go and stretch and say very experimental, but it's definitely they've definitely tried some new things, and it shows.
I feel like it's the furthest have gone.
It's worked.
In a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I just find the production on this pretty amazing. Just as I said then, with that delay, with that modulated delay, changing the notes, that was pretty interesting. I just feel like the overall sound, they used a lot of. They really used silence to their advantage. You know, they didn't go with like big drum beats. It was just a dun tsh, dun tsh, dun dun tsh. You know what I mean? It's like
weren't crammed or too busy.
Yeah, it weren't busy. It was very spaced. It was really spaced out, and they almost used as much space as they could. You know, sometime throughout most of the song, it really was just the drums just doing the dun tsh, dun tsh, dun, and just Jerry Talbot just shouting, "You will not catch me staring at the sun," or whatever the fuck he's talking
They
about.
very much use time very well. Like they timed everything very very well, and that's something that you can either hit or miss in music, really, because timing is very key.
Because it is. You're completely right, because it's a slow song, but it doesn't feel slow at all because of the energy behind it.
It truly is an art to try and find the difference between something that's like. It's quite hard to find the timing. Like an art is the time that you need to put everything together, and they put everything together like really well in a very good space. Like they put it all together really well, and like it's merged very well because of the timings between each.
I mean, I think this song is the epitome of less is more.
Absolutely.
All these songs now are just crammed with like a bunch of stuff that you can't even like depict out of a song. And this is, you can tell everything. You can tell it's just the band. You know what I mean? It's just the band playing. It's not like some other stuff going on in the background that
you can feel the drum. You can 100%, feel like hear the string. It's everything. Just it works. It works brilliantly. As I said, it's put together brilliantly. Yeah.
So, just a quick one last word on Grounds. I mentioned the lyrics in War, so I may as well try and go over the lyrics for most of the song. The lyrical context here is about strength in numbers. I mean, I don't even need to fucking paragraph that shit. He literally does say in the chorus, that's the sound of strength in numbers. It's very clear that's the message of the song. And when you actually listen to the lyrics, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, sort of a revolutionary type thing.
Absolutely,
100%, Great enough.
Talking a lot about revolution. Moving on to a song that we've already mentioned, Mr. Motivator.
I think
this is my favourite.
Yeah, I think this might be my favourite song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's got a more of a sing-song thing to it in the chorus.
Oh, yeah,
I really like that. I think his voice really works well with it.
Yeah. No, this one's quite interesting for me, really. I feel like this is quite experimental, and just a bit of context as well. Obviously, we're all a lot of Idol songs are very they do focus it a lot around. If you know your slightest bit of music theory, they do base it around the minor scale.
Yeah,
and the first time they really properly experimented with making a happy sounding song was with Danny Nedelko in their last album, and for them that was extremely new, and it worked out amazingly. And I feel like Mr. Motivator is almost like their new Danny Nedelko. Really, it's their happy song of the album. They've tried they've basically put in the same formula for me. I feel like listening to it, I've spotted a lot of similarities between that and Danny Nedelko, really.
Yeah.
It's same kind of vocal delivery. I mean, if you literally put them both side by side, the more you look at it, the more you do realize they've took what they've learned from Danny Nedelko and put it into Mr. Motivator. And once again, Danny Nedelko was a massive hit. I feel like Mr. Motivator will be just as successful, if you ask me.
Yeah, Mr. Motivator does seem like one of those tunes that could be played quite widely, I think, personally. Mm-hmm. I could see it being played more widely than a lot of other songs, for sure.
Still, it's still the same premise, but just a lot brighter sounding, a bit.
There is one thing that could actually hold it back from being played sort of more widely or more on like mainstream platforms, and that would purely be like the lyrics and the lyrical content. I don't know if it's too controversial for that sort of thing.
I feel like that's probably I don't think idols would want to be mainstream anyway.
They wouldn't want to
but that's a point though. I feel like that the thing that's holding back idols from coming out of the little punk hidey hole
because of the playability.
Not the playability at all. I mean, when you listen to Mr. Motivator, it's a very happy song. It's literally a song that you can like get up and have a bounce to.
Mm-hmm.
But when you listen to the lyrics and you just realize that it's just fucking ranting about things that you don't like.
Yeah.
It's not something you'd want on Capitol, is it?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't have the playability due to the fact it's so controversial. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, it's a great song. It's very upbeat and stuff. Like,
I don't think that's much of an issue. Though I don't think Joe Talbot sits up at night tossing and turning because he's not being played on
Yeah.
fucking.
No. I'm just saying. I'm saying in general, if from just the sound of the track itself, it sounds in regards to like in comparison to other Idols things, it sounds like something that would be more played on radio. But then you listen to the lyrics, you get into the sort of the politics of it, and it's like actually no.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons I like it though, because it's very much like it has that playability, but it also like it crosses the line, and it's kind of what you always expect.
I feel
from
like
them.
in
They always
terms of
cross that
crossing the line, Mr. Motivator is pretty safe, but I do understand that there's a lot of lyrics.
If it was on the last album, it would have been a bit different, but
there are a lot of lyrics in a lot of their songs that are a bit like, should he have said that?
I can quote some Mr. Motivator lyrics right now. Actually, I mean, there's some quite controversial ones. Flying through. I mean, one of the best.
Conor McGregor with a samurai sword on rollerblades.
But no, there's like one that I like was like Flavor Flav in the club riding on the back of John Wayne.
Yeah,
Massive dude, there was a white supremacist called John Wayne. And so that I quite like that old throwback because in the punk and punk rock community they may not be as aware of that sort of thing, but it's people like me who listen to this stuff. I'm like, you know what, nice one, appreciate that.
Yeah,
I like little things like that. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's cool.
See,
I literally had no idea about that either. I didn't have a clue. I thought it was just a funny little thing that I literally just thought it was like, oh, someone's not taking a piggyback on a bloke called John Wayne. I had no idea who John Wayne was.
Bro, shout out Flavor Flav real quick.
shout out Flavor Flav. No, but for real, it was a big thing. And when Public Enemy would actively like shout at John Wayne in their songs and stuff like that, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was mental.
That's sick. That is sick.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
There's some more commercial ones in there. We're going to skip over those.
How to get demonetized on your first episode.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so track number 4 on Ultramono is Anxiety, and honestly, this is actually probably one of my favorites.
Really good track.
Such a fucking banger. It's so catchy. It's so catchy. Even though the lyrics are very weird, just like, I have got anxiety. It sounds like fucking SpongeBob.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird how it oozes out playability as well. Like, it's not, it feels like it shouldn't, but like, it's just something
it's funny because
it's just so good. Like,
actually looking at the lyrical context versus the happy sounding things, it's almost exactly like what the Smiths did. You listen to it and you're like, this is such a pretty song, and then you just hear Morrissey talking about how he wants to fucking kill himself.
Yeah,
you're like, maybe it isn't that happy.
Lad.
Maybe it isn't that happy.
An example
a cup of tea, lad.
It sounds like a B, and then verse 2, our government hates the poor, cold leaders, cold class war. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah, nice.
Very, very nice.
No, that is nice.
No, but either way, again, I did quite like this song.
Yeah, good song.
Once again, cool message. I like the message. Not of all their songs, but this one in particular, I quite like it.
I think it's I know they're always really upfront with stuff, but I think this one was a lot more vocal in the point, like, you know, straightforward instead of covering stuff up with metaphors.
Yeah, very
a lot more upfront.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In your face, 100%. Yeah.
It just says our government hates the poor. I don't know how more literal you can get than that.
Yeah, true.
Is that a metaphor, bro?
That would be a metaphor for something, like some English teacher out there looking at you like
just some BTEC Mr. Smart or something.
Oh, no. Big up Norfolk. Man was never there, but it's okay.
Yeah, that guy was an absolute.
We're on holiday. God,
he's out here chilling with wife.
Oh no!
No, didn't he get a fucking divorce?
Oh shit! I don't know if I'm digging up something. I meant to say digging her up. So. Nah, I'm joking, lads.
Shit,
Come
dog.
on, no, cancelled. We ain't gonna get no fucking energy drink sponsorship.
Fine.
No Gamer Fuel. Oh no.
Oh no.
Gamer Fuel. It's all over. Sorry, boys.
All right, okay. Fuck it. On to the next song.
Hold on. I'm just making sure I've got through all my fucking notes for this.
All right.
He's just fucking scrolling for a notepad.
No, I've got me. No, yeah, because I wrote me notes. I told you this when I did a review whilst I was sat on the train on my way to college. I
Well,
did it.
yeah, I mean,
You did.
fair enough.
Nah, yeah. That's pretty much it for me as well on anxiety. Bloody catchy song, cool chorus, liked it. I like that.
You can't really explain it anymore because the lyrics are actually so like obvious.
Yeah. Next song is "Kill Them with Kindness." Thoughts on this one, chaps?
Yeah.
I feel like this is like the whole opposite to what you were just on about.
Yeah.
You're on about, that's very literal. This one's very metaphorical from what I
It
can
kind of does with the same thing as Grounds with me. You know, with the heavy drum beat.
Yeah.
Kind of slapping you.
Yeah, it has a similar vibe.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
very different at the same time. Like it's like very metaphorical.
Also, I found it a bit catchy. It caught me a bit off guard. The piano intro.
Yeah.
yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah. It's crazy. You're just like, you think you're out here listening to fucking Beethoven, then or you just get slapped in the face. Dun 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 dun.
It is really. It is excellent. No, again, very.
I quite liked the placement of that piano intro actually, because at the end of the day, looking back, the first 4 songs of that album are extremely upbeat. And it's almost like, I feel like that piano, if you are one of them people who enjoys listening to an album from back to front, as we all quite clearly have done here,
it settles you down.
I was going to say, it's just a nice little break. It's like
interlude without taking up a whole number track of an interlude.
It's time where you have a swig of your pint and then you're like, come on, boys, time for another. Come on.
Literally. It's the perfect amount of time as well. I'm pretty sure I clocked it at like somewhere between 30 and 35 seconds.
Exactly.
Perfect amount of time to grab a drink, have a swig, turn around to your mate and was like, that's nice. Let's go again.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I like that. I like that. No, either way, no. I think it is. It's proper. Like it's another one of the songs where I'd say it is high energy, but it's slower.
Yeah, it's like it's high impact, low energy kind of.
Very high impact.
It's like Grounds, but it's just not Grounds, is it?
It's like Grounds from a different dimension. Like
alternate universe Grounds.
Alternate universe Grounds. That's it.
It's like Grounds, but it's. I wouldn't say it's as experimental as Grounds.
Yeah.
No,
Sure.
Different from Idols. Grounds
it was a lot closer to your typical Idols song than Grounds for I can say that for certain. It just had a lot more of your typical Idols ingredients: punchy drums, fat bass, little guitars off in background, just going.
And the fucking vibe that comes with it, boy.
Yes. I was just I struggled listening to this one, not because I didn't like the song, just I struggled trying to make sense of the lyrics. It was they were very weird. They were very strange. They as David said, really metaphorical actually.
Yeah.
But it was so weird because I couldn't really. I have a feeling I feel like a fucking English teacher when you're looking at a book and it's just the author says them curtains are black and you sat there like, what a beautiful piece of writing.
I mean, from what I can see here, I just looked on, funny enough, Genius, just to see what they actually.
Fair enough.
I'm double checking Genius just to see what they actually have to say.
Gotta be done.
I mean, do a back check? Like.
Even all I'm saying is, even Genius don't know.
Oh, fair
they don't.
Fair enough.
There's only the first verse.
No way.
There's the first verse to mention, was it? Said the puppy.
Send the puppy to the snake.
And they're saying because obviously it's political, that could be referencing ANCAPs or like really, really libertarian capitalists.
No cap.
They're called ANCAP, no cap, right? And no, their symbol is like a snake, and it's like, don't tread on me. And then it says a heart stand to the ground, so I see what shakes, and it's just like treading on the minute.
Oh my god!
That's what they're seeing from it. And to be fair, I can.
So
I mean, I'm dumb as shit, so I wouldn't realise that in a million years.
I mean, I'm not really good with all that like political background, but again, that's another really interesting thing that Emma's just fucking died on Among Us, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's just saying your vent. Ha, noob. Yeah.
Tell me you saw them in vent, Jesus.
Yeah, just say that you saw them vent. Just blame them instead.
Exactly.
But yeah, no. Once again, thank you for actually telling me that, because again, that's just something that I had fucking no clue about at all.
Shows you how much depth it can have, even with a simple song.
Yeah,
Like you
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, that makes me look stupid now, because I was going to say that the personal message I interpreted when listening to the lyrics was the importance of having a backbone and being the better man. When you've got someone who's just being a bit of a cunt, and literally just killing them with kindness, and just showing that you're a better human than them.
Incriminating yourself type of thing.
The thing about lyrics, though, you can set them in any way you want. That's the beauty.
Exactly.
No,
true.
You should never feel stupid about the way you see it, because everybody else is going to see it in a different light.
Wait,
so
what? They don't know it's you. Okay. So Emma's just been witnessed venting, and she's managed to fucking take the blame away from herself. What a champ.
Oh,
well done, Emma. You get a gold medal.
Yeah, pog champ.
I am gamer girl. You can't vote me off. No, but I mean, from the looks of it, I'd say this does have. I don't really know. I was gonna say like very anti sort of monarchy, anti queen type vibes here and there, but the same. I'm not too sure. It's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, because they do mention
the first bit, because the snake is a very big symbol when it comes to politics. For the ANCAPs, and so I'm like, fair enough. And slamming a boot on them. Don't tread on me. Pretty sad. But the rest, it's a bit of a weird one still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quick shout out to Max, because we'd be fucking lost otherwise.
Literally.
Hey, it is what it is. It ain't much.
Yeah, I was just gonna say another quick note for Killing Them with Kindness. We've established already that this is a very experimental album.
Yes.
And they've added to that with a fucking guitar solo. I don't know if anyone clocked on. Don't know if anyone clocked onto that, but I know a guitar solo doesn't sound like a lot. But when was the last time you heard a guitar solo in an Idol song?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I can't think of it.
Exactly. I don't
think of one, boys.
I actually genuinely thinking they either have, and it was just a shit guitar solo that just wasn't memorable at all, or they just genuinely haven't done a guitar solo at all in any song.
This guy's just called out the Idols real quick if they have one.
I'm sorry, Joe Talbot. I love you, man. But
Joe Talbot turns the chat, screams, leaves.
I mean, I don't know why I'm apologizing to Joe Talbot. He doesn't even play the guitar. I should probably be apologizing to Bowen or Lee or something like that. But like, again, if they have had a guitar solo, they've probably done it once before. So it really is something that we've really not heard in Idols before, having a guitar solo. And it's not the first time they do it on this album either, actually.
No,
they do it. I'm trying to remember where they have another guitar solo. There is another one later on in the album. It's either in. Oh no, it is in Model. Yeah, it's in Model Village. It's in Model Village in the next song. Yeah.
Hey, are we gonna get it?
We'll get on.
Segue.
Yeah. And I think that saying that, we should probably, unless someone has something else to say about Killing Them with Kindness, we should probably move on to Model Village.
I mean, I said everything I need to say.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to Model Village.
Mate, I love this song. It's got a great groove. It's sarcastic. It's everything I like.
It's got adore this song. I treat it like it's my baby.
Don't read the song.
Harvey just giving birth. Harvey was giving birth to that fucker.
Mate, Harvey giving birth to some vinyl. Like, what the fuck?
But no, this is probably my favorite song.
Yeah, it might actually.
To be honest, it was when it came out as a single. I had it on pretty much every day. It really was what hyped me up the most for this album. Just listening to this along with Grounds and Model Village and occasionally a hymn. But yeah, this was. Jesus Christ, I can't say enough about this song. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just everything about it. The instrumentation, catchy as fuck. But what I want to focus on the most personally is the backing vocals from Dev, the bassist.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely it's so funny, but it's so beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't read the sun.
It was quite funny to be honest. Yeah.
King Draggy.
Oh, it's like
Oh,
was it? I don't see a lot happen in the village. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. It's just, that's brilliant. No, I do like that. That is quite good.
I like that.
Exactly. I mean, do we need the lyrical analysis yet, or
I mean,
we do like that.
Fuck it, sure. All right, so
go
for it.
Go.
You know, the entire song's just about a stereotypical British village and like a rural.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was pretty obvious.
Uh-huh.
I think that was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
No.
Stereotype. I really felt like he was just talking about fucking Mosborough whilst I was listening to
You know
that.
what? You could kind of
picture
compare it to
it.
But no, I wouldn't say entirely. Again, there are like a few lines in here which, first of all, Genius has tried to explain and got wrong, which I've noticed.
Genius don't understand the British.
They don't understand British.
Like,
No, but it's
I think that because they're not mumble rappers, they don't really give a shit about the lyrical content.
bro.
They're not talking about strippers. They're not talking about drugs. That means it's no interest to Genius.
Yeah, they don't understand any other territory.
What's that? Lyrics with actual meaning? You're not. What do you mean you're not talking about pussy?
and then as soon as you're seeing idols feet Lil Mos,
You must go into graphic detail about everything.
Where the hell's that? No.
why aren't you speaking about these bloody strip clubs? Like, come on, boys.
Well, I mean, I'll start with the first one they've messed up. First of all, the first line is a lot of nine-finger boys in the village. They said it was reference to like punishment
Barnsley.
where you get your finger chopped off for stealing. No, it's because they're inbred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Barnsley, bro.
It's funny because you'll find you in Barnsley, mate.
Exactly. Literally, Barnsley. Like, it's literally because they're inbred. Because in a village like that, where it's all just like a small rural village where they're all white and they only mingle amongst.
I didn't actually. Thing is, though, that's another thing. Because this entire time I've been listening to it, thinking that he says 9-figure, as in like they earn 9-figure salaries.
I thought he said that. It could be 9-figure. Well, then again, 9 figures like giant.
I was gonna say that's why I found it difficult to believe.
They won't be living in a villge, mate.
I was going to say they're definitely not going to be living in a village if they're on 9-figure
Nah, mate,
salaries.
it's bloody Northern Ireland. That's what it is. It's just Northern Ireland.
Well, the IRA song music starts.
Oh,
He's
no.
probably talking about like some
Cancelled.
third world country where 9 figures just equates to about a $5 here.
Venezuela. That's a demonetized. No, but yeah, either way, I mean, looking through it now, it's like, well, they ain't too friendly in the village. A lot of tabloid friends in the village, as you know, the Sun.
Don't read the Sun.
Don't read the Sun. You know, in small villages, a lot of the time there'll always be like a local news, tabloid news, and that often misleads everybody and gives them like an odd opinion. He's not a racist, but in the village, I think we can. That's cool.
That's it. I'm not racist, but
Yeah.
But despite, let's stop right there.
Let's nip that one in the bud, shall we?
Yeah, let's stop that right now. I said one word. All I said was the word despite. I mean, if you don't know, now you know, right? You know, always referencing, you know, there's a lot of pink skin in the village. Got my head kicked in the village. Basically saying it's a rough village, but everyone's quite sort of happy there at the same time. It's a weird one because they're all like it's a very white village, pretty simply.
I was going to say it's very white people-ish.
Yeah.
I've just realised
Ones that don't really explore outwards or learn anything about anybody else.
They don't have. They don't have any sort of want to like look for different culture or go around and travel.
Boys, I won't lie. I think we need to tell the audience, if we have any, that Max is black, so it's alright if he says anything.
Quick disclaimer.
I can say white things and black things. I cover both sides. So what was I going to say now? Yeah, I think funnily enough, a really good reference is if you want to film Hot Fuzz.
Hey, yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that. You know, when they go in, everyone's acting weird, and then later on,
Model Village was at the end, wasn't it? When they all like start fighting.
Oh right, yeah, he gets his under his jaw, under his chin.
Yeah, there's a lot of white people, like model low crime rate, model race, model village,
just dumping everyone under the ground.
Exactly, dumping everyone underground standard. Yeah,
they've just got some fucked up church, bro.
Yeah,
some fucked cult, man.
half-pint thugs, overpriced drugs, homophobes by the ton in the village. Yeah. I mean,
there ain't nothing happening in this village.
Get out of my village. Then there's like a lot
the village.
Consider the gay in the village, Jesus. No, but then, other terms like there's a lot of gammon in the village, referencing pink skin, white people again. Just give them an anthem and they'll sing it. Still, they don't know the meanings in it.
Saluting flags because it's British. I think we get the picture of that. To be fair, no words needed for that.
The rest is pretty self-explanatory. I think it's quite again. You can again. I'm not going to go through every single bloody line. It's just you get the gist now.
I really enjoyed the chorus actually, even though it was quite simply just "I beg your pardon, I don't give a shit about your rose garden." I found that quite funny actually. I felt like that's just a fat middle finger to middle-aged white dads. who care a little bit too much about the garden. John!
What do you mean I don't care about me rose garden? What do you
mean? Mary Berry is fucking quick in the boots over here. She's just finished cooking in the garden. She just...
Remember, but Mary Berry, remember, she does like reggae.
Oh, she likes football as well.
True.
Yo.
No, that's Trevor.
And she has a medal.
I bet in her back garden she's fucking over egg kicks, boys. Come on.
Right, imagine it. All right. I mean, is that all we got to say for that, or have you got anyone else?
Next song. Ne tassez moi, which translates from French to "Don't touch me."
Don't touch me, bitch.
Don't touch me, bitch.
God, you're not my dad, bro. All right.
This is basically a feminist's wet dream of a song.
It is indeed.
For good reason. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
A French feminist wet dream.
Oh.
Do they even exist? I don't even
know. I'm going to go get a drink 1 minute.
Right, yeah, I was just going to say, this song, it's not my favorite. It's not really one of my favorites from the album. I do really appreciate. I really appreciate the message behind it, though. I really appreciate the lyrical context. As a song to actually listen to, it's okay. It's an okay
more
song.
More of a statement, I think.
I feel like it's like you just said, more of a statement than a song. I'll allow it though. I feel like it's really nice of them to show how they're supporting women's rights, and at the end of the day, the actual lyrics, they basically talk about how it's unfair for women to get into mosh pits and feel like they're scared that men are going to take advantage of the fact they're in mosh pits, and it's right. A woman should be able to go to a gig, and I'll get onto that, Emma. Don't you worry, son. But I was going to say, I feel like it's really important for women to get into a mosh pit and enjoy themselves and feel as careless and free as what we as men do.
Yeah.
And Joe Talbot quite clearly states in the song's lyrics, it is men's responsibility to make sure that happens, obviously, because it's usually us that are fucking creating the issues by some knobheads out there feeling that they have the fucking privilege to touch women up in the mosh pit, which is absolutely fucking bad.
It's bad. I mean, I feel like it did get a bit too preachy at moments, but I do like the message nonetheless. I feel
like when it comes to issues like that, you really do have to preach it though, because sometimes you do just have to fucking nail it into some thick cunt scuttle and say you should not be touching women, you dumb cunt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially, I think it's great when a band does it as well, because usually you think, oh yeah, the band's drugs, all that lot, and then they kind of feel like it's cool in a way. They lose control, and then when a band as aggressive as Idols and that lot, when they're telling them, hey man, you can do all that, but just make sure they want to,
Yeah. I find the lyrics actually quite sweet. When that woman's shouting at him, "Natasha more," or "Don't touch me," Joe Talbot responds. It's like a call and response. It's like her saying, "Don't touch me," and then Joe Talbot turning around and saying, "Don't worry, this is your dance space. You do what you want. You go and do exactly what you want to do." I find that quite sweet, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I said, didn't really like it as a song. I actually did find, even though I know that it was nice for the female voice backing vocals to voice the female. I did actually find the backing vocals a little bit annoying. Like I don't know why. It was just the tone of how she was like Natasha. What? I just found it a bit annoying. I just found it a little bit annoying.
I'm just gonna listen to like that one bit right there.
It was weird. It's. I don't know if it's because I'm just not used to listening to French accents, but yeah, I found it a little bit irritating. I didn't find it as bad when she started shouting consent, consent in English. I didn't find that as irritating, but as I said, I did find the Natesse Moi a little bit.
Yeah, I can see how you find that irritating. That does sound like after a bit, it would drone on a bit.
Yeah.
Especially when she's done it like 4 or 5 times throughout the song, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with repetition's good, but I think when it's like
gotta do it right,
like an alarm sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We wake up to alarms. We don't like that sound. Come on, man.
Well, you just see your favorite song, and right as the chorus comes along, you're about to like proper go out, and then all of a sudden,
yeah.
Just overall, the song Natassa Moi, it's a bit of a weird one. As we said earlier, good message as a song, bit weird. I'm sure there's people out there who absolutely love it as a song too, but personally for me, it's a bit more of a mid-tier song. It's a good song. I like it. I'd listen to it. I would listen to it every now and then. I wouldn't completely neglect it, but it's not a song that I'd religiously listen to.
Yeah, I can.
I think song-wise, it is. Yeah, there's a lot packed into it lyrically to the point where I don't know. I think if it was like one of those short breakdown songs, it might. I mean, it is shorter generally.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is like.
But, I mean, like if it was one of those, I feel like they could have cut a couple things that repeated itself out into maybe one of those 1 minute breakdown songs, and then it just that's it. A bit of an aggressive statement, and then bang.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 minutes 34, which is the shortest song in the album.
Yeah.
So, I feel like they could have actually cut a few things down here and there to make it, maybe, as you said, like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes.
It's short and sweet. It sounds louder when you do that as well. Instead of kind of dragging on and then you're like kind of waiting, for the next track to it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, okay. Are we going on to the next one?
Carcinogenic.
Bloody back, boys. It's bloody
back. Just in time for next song.
Yeah.
Well, I think that song's a bit of a meh tier, by the way.
Carcinogenics, you find it meh tier?
No, enough. The one before, boys.
Natassa Moi.
Yeah, we all came to that conclusion. It was kind of mid.
We all pretty much said that it was a bit of a okay song, really, at most.
Right, okay. Well, at least you agree.
Moving on to the song of Carcinogenics, I personally really like the guitar riff on this song. Yeah. That's what made it stand out for me. Really, really. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just a nice guitar riff. I don't want to say groovy because it wasn't groovy. I don't want to say catchy, but it was a nice guitar riff.
It was just a bit cheeky. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It sounded a lot lighter than other Idol songs. You could easily tell it didn't sound as like hardcore as a lot of other Idol songs. Much like lighter, from what I heard.
Again, because of the kind of like the brighter type of guitars, the more high pitched, less,
But bass.
Yeah. Well, it pops out more, I think.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. No, I really like the use of reverb on the guitar on these. It sounds, it's such a spacey guitar riff. Really nice.
Yeah, it sounds further away, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Kind of like a room sound, which I love.
It reminds me of, do you remember when I used to be obsessed with this band called Estrons? It sounds a lot like them, their kind of vibe. I don't know if anyone ever listened to them whilst I was fucking raging about them every week. But
I think I would disappear at that point, boy.
Probably. But yeah.
I was at the picture.
I was very obsessed with this band called Estrons, and they were their entire sound was just based around really spacey, delayed guitars, and Carcinogenics is quite a strong-ish resemblance to it. It reminded me of them a lot, and so I really appreciated this song for that reason. Let's see what else I've put. So again, lyrics-wise, carcinogenics. What's a carcinogenic, you might ask? It's something that fucking causes cancer. And it's basically talking about things in just cancerous. It's just talking about cancerous society, really.
I'd say
that's the song.
Jesus.
It tends to do a
It's a strong message.
I'd say it tends to take a standard Idol stance, and it goes.
Yeah.
Again, you can put the fucking Idol seal of approval on it and be like, yeah, that's an Idol song.
It's a standard stance that Idols always takes. You know,
it's like you just look at it and you're like, you can tell Joe Talbot's just gone home and he's raging about summer and he's gone and written that down in anger.
He's put his finger on it, boys.
No, but you know, like the first verse clearly just about, you know, the working class and how they've been overworked. Again, sort of bit of jab at the government. Second verse, again, working class. What is the government doing? Waving Union Jack, rallying for tanks, blowing up ice caps. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
And the bridge sort of goes off a bit and says, you know, meth, crack, heroin, all that stuff, that's bad, carcinogenic. All these basically stating things that are genuinely carcinogenic. And then the last line is class division and bear baiting on television for better ratings is carcinogenic.
Ooh.
But again, it's sort of saying that, yes, look how bad all these things are. Now, this is on the same level, essentially. And I think that's pretty good. I quite like how they've done it. Very well. Very well done for them. Yeah.
I find the chorus quite interesting as well. Just you only die once, so live while you can, kind of thing. It's like I wonder what he's actually trying to get out there. Is he trying to is he like speaking from the other side of the argument almost, being like, well, if we're gonna die, we may as well just take in all these carcinogenics and just do what the fuck we want anyways. It's like maybe he's getting at that.
It does a bit feel like a debate-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could be doing that, but he could also be basically saying, you know, you only have one life. Don't mess it up with all this bad stuff. Essentially,
yeah.
He could be doing it either or. I think, quite interesting that one. Right?
Yeah. Anything else for carcinogenics, or are we just going to move on swiftly?
Nope.
Yeah.
I just like the message.
Okay.
Sick message. Moving on.
Moving on. Reigns. Oh my god, I want to give this song a French kiss. I love
this.
Again, the thing I like, you know, harsh drum verses, but it's a bit faster this time as well.
Yeah. Model Village. I said that Model Village is my first favorite. But oh my god, Reigns comes in at second favorite extremely closely. I love this. I love this song. I really do love this song. Just everything about it. Just the it's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But again, fucking music production masterclass on this shit for all you non-musicians out there in the world. Whoever's mixed this is a genius. I love this. It's like the song on its own sounds so loud when you're in the verse. You're like, this is so upbeat and so energetic. And
at the same time, it's got like I said before, that dynamic feeling again. It's still got space, still got headroom.
Has it really though? Has it really?
I think it's got headroom because
it's loud. I feel like when you listen to the verse, it really is quite loud.
It's not squashed. That's like you know when you hear stuff and everything's like there's no pump to it. You know what I mean? And everything sounds squashed and slammed. This sounds up and down. You know, it's really punchy, and I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know, it's as I said, loud verse. As David said, still got the tiniest bit of headroom in there, and they utilized every little millimeter of that extra space to bring you such a hard-hitting, loud chorus, probably the rowdiest on the entire album, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
like it's kind of like the strongest.
It
definitely feels like the strongest.
It really is the hardest hitting chorus. Or just song in general,
with this singing as well. Album. That's like kind of more of a singy chorus in a way. Yeah. I love it when they do that.
Yeah. And again, got a little bit experimental on this song once again. They actually, I don't know if anyone heard them. They were quite subtle enough. Synthesizers, they did use a little bit of synth in there. Not like your fucking jazzy ding fucking bullshit. But like they were quite
next Motorola ringtone,
distorted, just razor sharp synth work in there, and again, some more experimental guitar effects thrown into, different levels of distortion in there as well. Again, going back to me little nerdy techie shit, saw an interview that Bowen did. I just thought I'd clarify. I don't intentionally go out and research this. This is just shit that I find whilst I'm watching YouTube. I don't. I swear, man. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling watching YouTube, and I'll see Bowen's talking shit about guitar, and I'll be like, I'll watch that. And Bowen was talking about how his amp just has so much headroom in it, which, if you don't know, means that it can handle a lot of distortion. And when I say a lot of distortion, I mean, when I say distortion, I mean he can just grab 3 or 4 gain pedals, turn them all up to the max, and he's still got room for more in there without making his guitar sound fucking retarded. And I was going to say, it's like you can tell that the band have taken full advantage of that and made this song, and that's what's made this song as loud as it is, as well as most of the other songs on this album. They really have used. It is quite a guitar-based, guitar-driven album as a whole, and it, you know, as I said, they've used the advantages of the guitar's technical specs to their full advantage and made it loud. And
it's not digital as well. You can hear it live. You can hear
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I just really appreciate the song for those reasons. It's so loud, it's so in your face. And oh Jesus Christ. And it really is I think that's exactly what Idols stand for, loud and in your face, and I feel like that really is their peak so far. That is their peak of being loud and in your face, and I feel like that's really what they've aimed for since the band started, and I feel like they've finally, I mean, I'm not saying they haven't achieved that before, but this is the best that they've done it so far.
Pinnacle, is it? Yeah.
For me, this is their pinnacle of this.
Yeah.
That is, I feel like when you look at Reigns, I know it's probably not even going to be one of the most popular songs by a landslide, but I feel like if you ask me what Idols is, I'd say Reigns. I'd say if I was to just summarize Idols, it would be Reigns, really.
Yeah. No, I do really. This one song gives me a lot of respect for Idols, I'd say, because if you, again, looking at the lyrics, it's like they don't attack. Because one thing I always thought before is that they had very strong, like general political leanings, but in this case, it's political leaning. It's the government is crap, just in general, both sides, not one, both sides. You know, they mention how does it feel to have shanked the working class to dust, and then also saying how does it feel to have won the war that nobody wants. You know, that's referencing both sides.
Yeah.
You know, then there's also how does it feel to have blue blood coursing through your veins? Once again, both sides. Just anyone who's poor, anyone who's like sort of up there, very rich. You know, very particularly aristocrats, socialites, them lot. Sort of, they have money. We still wonder how. And
And again, I fully appreciate Idols for that as well. I don't think there's anything worse than having a band that's. I'm not saying it's bad to be a political band, because obviously I love Idols and they're about as political as it can get sometimes.
Yeah.
But there's nothing worse than when someone doesn't see, just in politics in general. Obviously, I'm going to try not to delve too deep into politics because realistically, no one likes that shit. But there's nothing worse than when someone comes out with their political opinion and you go, okay, fair enough, but have you seen what this argument is against it? And they just go, no, not looking at that. I don't have any interest in that whatsoever. And it's like, you don't have to be a cunt about it. Sometimes people do have a different opinion to you. And sometimes you've just got to accept that sometimes someone might actually have a better opinion than you. And I feel like what a lot of people forget about in just, not just in politics, but just in life in general, if someone has a different opinion to you, sometimes you do just have to look at it and be like, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lesson I've learned in the past as well, just through personal experience.
Every Karen ever is triggered right now, boys. We've set up the Karens. They speak about Boris and Theresa, or they're just chatting shit. Like, past and present, it's bloody future stars, mate. Come on.
No, God. No, but in general, this song has made me get a lot more respect for Idols, because previously I thought, they seem quite politically charged. I wonder which side. And then also, no, it's neither.
Technically, it's like the Idols tune.
I hate them all.
Just got, like,
that's
if you
the
ever
best
wanted
part.
to tell someone,
Going... Oh, you go on there.
No, I like.
If you we got fuck's sakes, who's speaking, boys? Come on,
Harrison.
me. Okay, right. Well,
Do we need to hold the
gonna...
speaking cube?
Not speaking.
Press F to speak.
Raise your hand.
Well, if anybody was ever gonna like ask you for a song to listen to kind of like explain who the idols are, it defo is that. Is what I'm saying, because like.
Cheers for stealing my quote, you cunt.
Yeah.
What?
No, I feel like you'd have to pick 3 songs though. You couldn't just stick to one song for any group though.
No, like if they said,
idols.
let me listen to one song and then I'll say if I like them. That's like the one song that you know, like that's the basis of who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can second that. That's here.
I mean, it's kind of what Harvey said, but a bit
I
different.
second what he said.
Indeed. Really?
Yeah, it's one of their. It's not from any of the albums. It was before they released the first album. It was like off one of the first EPs.
I was just saying that because I second that emotion.
No, yeah,
I second it, son. All right, so are we going to the next one, or has anyone else?
Yeah, the next song is "I'm a Lover." Is it called?
David had something.
The Lover.
The Lover. It's called The Lover.
David. Wait, boys. I think David had something to say before.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I did say.
Oh yeah, I did. To be fair, I forgot.
Sorry,
but
Dave.
I think it was on the lines of like, what I like about them is they don't just jump to like an ideology and say we're this, we think this because we're this side. It's kind of like we have our own say, and you do what you want with that information. You know.
Yeah, no, I like that. I always like that when they put out things, but they don't try and tell everyone, yes, believe us now. No, it's just like, guys, check this out. The richer cunts. There we go. That's all they have to say.
Well, they don't see. Oh, they're the enemy, so I'm going to do everything they don't. They don't do that. You know?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Either way, on with the show.
Yeah. Are we moving on to The Lover?
This one was kind of a vibe, to be fair.
Yeah. It was definitely, as Harrison said earlier, it was a very quite funny with the up and down emotion throughout the album. And this is where we start.
Moving.
This is really where we start coming back down again. We've just had the absolute highest of highs with Reigns and The Lover. Now, despite being still being relatively decent and upbeat and quite strong, this one is really starting to come down to the mellow ending of this album, and it's quite calm. But for me, it felt a little bit out of place. I don't know why. It just felt a bit weird when I listened to it.
I don't know why.
It
feels a bit more synthetic.
Yeah, it felt very. It didn't. It's like we've almost gone from one extreme to the other. I mean, I don't know if it's literally just because I've listened to it straight after Reigns, but when Reigns feels like the epitome of idols, The Lover feels very, very un-idol-y.
Yeah, it should definitely it feels like it should have been moved somewhere else because it felt a bit like rushed to change the tone.
Yeah,
and like the way that albums, like the albums that I love, like the way I love them is because they change the tone so well, they transition really well, but everything pieced so well together. But then this one kind of like trying to hit you right there, but it for me it didn't really hit me like that. It just kind of like confused me. Like it kind of just made me feel a bit like lost in what the album was. In a way.
I think it stuck to the theme of what idols is and the album in particular very well. Because
100%.
It was like up and down emotions. It started, 1 minute it's all up in the air, really, really fast. This time it's a bit slower, a bit lighter, and then it goes up again, type thing. And so I do quite like that, the sort of varying emotions, and they do it quite well. Because otherwise, what's bad is when it's quite a slow song and then it goes to a fast song and you just sort of feel caught off guard and really uncomfortable. Just like that didn't seem right. But in this one, I feel like it seems it flows very well, flows perfectly. Yeah, like, I feel it's very comfortable, very good.
Yeah. Again, lovely little. Well, I mean, actually, some of the lyrics in this was quite interesting to me because it's not just like it's not just about being a lover. I know that's what most of the song is about, and we will get onto that. But what I'd like to point out is it's actually showing a little bit of self-consciousness from idols. Yeah. There are a few, because obviously we all know what idols are like. There's a lot of cliches about them, and they address that, and it is something that they've had a lot of criticism over, which is completely understandable because obviously that's not going to be everyone's. Ranting about the same thing over and over again ain't going to be everyone else's cup of tea like it is ours. And they've addressed that. They've addressed that that they know that there's a lot of cliche around them and typicalness, and they've basically turned around and said, we're okay if you're not okay about it because
it's not what I like about it. Even the sound of the song, as well as the lyrics, is not like defensive.
Yeah,
it's
they're fully honest.
Yeah,
they're fully aware of what they do and how people see them, and it's great to see how they've taken that criticism. Because again, just how there's nothing worse about people who don't see the other side of the argument. There's there's also sometimes nothing worse than seeing someone, and I guess it's pretty much the same thing, really. Pretty much the exact same as someone who doesn't see the other side of the argument. They take a criticism and they just completely take it and screw it up in a ball like it doesn't exist. And they've just
either that or get very defensive and angry and try and fight
defensive and angry. And they've done the complete opposite here. They've took that and they've said, we understand that you feel that way, but I'm a lover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of smiling in the face of adversity. Sort of, you see something, you think it should make you really angry, but instead, it's all right. I'm a lover.
There's your killing with kindness theory, Harvey. Come back to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the better.
Yeah, but it is, again, the lyrics in general are all sort of quite, again, it's sort of, this bad thing happens, but I'm a lover. I'm not going to react to that because I'm a lover. I'm a soul singer singing in the face of the middle finger, so I'm putting the middle finger to him. So I bite my thumb and let it linger to say, fuck you, I'm a lover. It's also quite a sarcastic sort of...
It's
literally, the bridge is, I want to cater for
that is sassy as fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to cater for the haters. Eat shit.
That is up there, mate.
Fair enough. But funnily enough, I just looked into this a little bit, and it turns out their mentions to cliches, and also sort of people. Again, there's a line here which says, "You say you don't like my cliches, our sloganeering, and our catchphrase." Apparently, that could actually be a reference to the fact that Idols actually had a bit of beef with Sleaford Mods. At one point.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Sleaford Mods said, You're not really working class. You're just appropriating the image of working class, which, again, I don't know how working class Idols actually is. I've never really...
well, the thing is, whenever you... honestly, I sound like... I keep mentioning the amount of interviews I watch from Idols, and admittedly, I do watch a lot of Idols interviews because I just find them fucking interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when they were talking about class, they are mostly like middle class, really.
Oh. Okay, I mean,
the middle class or middle class?
Middle class.
Middle class. Well, I don't know, actually. They're from Bristol, so how would they say it? Just middle class.
Very far south.
Middle class.
Middle class.
No, middle class.
Bristol south. Bristol south. Yeah. Probably be class, if that's the case.
That sounds so fucking weird to say.
I think about it. How would Joe Talbot say it? He wouldn't say class, would he? I feel like he would not say class unless he was shouting. If he was speaking normally,
he wouldn't say either if he was shouting. He'd just go, bleh!
Go, bleh! Go crazy, go stupid.
But I see why they're addressing that, though, because if they sort of leave that linger, that's a very bad image. That's a very bad image for Idols. If you're a sort of middle-class band that speaks for the working class, but then the working class band starts saying, that's not what we believe, that's a problem. And then all of a sudden, you've got a bit of an issue, haven't you?
But then they just turn around and say, I'm a lover, motherfucker, come on.
Exactly, it's just, fuck you, I'm a lover. But at the same time,
eat shit, mate.
Yeah, that does add an interesting dynamic. Exactly, eat shit, it adds an interesting dynamic to things, but at the same time, I do respect the message of most of the songs, including this one. So, yeah, I think it's brilliant. Any other thing else to say?
Anything else?
Not really.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the message and I enjoyed the vibe. The vibe was all right, but it just felt a bit. Yeah. I mean, it just felt the tempo kind of just went a bit too far down. That's the only nitpick I have with it.
I like it when people get their anger out and then they kind of have this honest moment where it's like
kind kind of like a
and
settling
like
period, isn't it?
decompression. Yeah, like that kind of thing where they just kind of, it's as though they just sit down and just kind of like, right, I've said what I need to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like they
Here's how I
vibe with
feel,
their
yeah.
emotions a bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Comfort
right.
in like a, a panic moment type of thing.
Yeah. No, good analogy, mate.
All right.
Sick, man.
The next one is
him. I feel like I've started on all these, so I should probably hand the microphone over to someone else and let someone else start for once.
David, go.
David.
Okay, right, I'll start then. It's kind of got the not tailing off the end, but like calming down again. In comparison to, the beginning and like some like songs like War right at the beginning. It's kind of got that and like comfort thing again. Like I'd say, it's not as slam dunk as the beginning song's not as loud and but it's also again it's got that dynamic thing that I like about it. And yeah, what does everybody else think?
Personally, for me, it's grown on me a lot since it was released as a single. I don't know if anyone else feels the same about
I
it.
won't lie to you. I went massive on it when I first heard it.
Yeah, when it first came out as a single, I remember listening to it and I just felt so underwhelmed, and I was like, that was so fucking boring. And I feel like it was a very weird song to release as a single, to be fair. But maybe they did it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was a master plan to release it as a single, so everyone has that first listen where they go, "Oh, bit shit," and then when they listen to it in the album, they're like, "You know, that's actually quite nice." I don't know. could be a coincidence. Could be a clever bit of marketing.
Yeah. I think it's one of the
we'll probably
first
never
songs
know.
from Idols I've heard that have got like an atmospheric, like big kind of floaty sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, very floaty indeed.
To say it's just like a band, not like a studio band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, as I said, this song grew on me a lot. As I said, when I listened to it as a single, I was very underwhelmed. And after listening, I've listened to this album a good at least 4 or 5 times now. At the very least, I have listened to it quite a few times, and every time I get to this song, I enjoy it more and more each time. And
I feel like it's because it's a very album song. Like it's not like on its own. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't give you the tone, did it?
Yeah,
so
the context of an album.
I feel like you said when it came out as a single, it probably was a good piece of marketing because like people listen to it and being like, "What is actually like the vibe of this song?" And then when it comes to it in the album, you're just like, "Oh wow, Jesus fucking Christ!"
Yeah. I mean, again, going on to like the lyrics of the song, it does seem to encapsulate sort of the average, like the box standard person.
Those lyrics confuse me so much.
Same, yeah. For me, so many different ways.
I like shame cooked ribs real nice. Soon as we changed lanes, we made it. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
No, but I think that honestly, it does encapsulate just an average person. For example, hot Zumba classes at a new church. I lost £10 for the wedding. I played happy to my teeth. Sofa surfer extraordinaire. There's quite a few people who are in bad situations.
That bit I obviously understood. It was just that fucking shame cut ribs that I was just. Every time I listen to it, I'm just like, what is he talking about?
I find shame cuts rips real nice as we change lanes. I'm not too sure. I'm assuming that's just shame.
I thought he's just talking about how he likes eating shame cut ribs. Like
rips.
Oh.
Shame. If I find shame cuts rip real nice as we change lanes. Game changer. But yeah, I think that just basically says, you're ashamed. If you're ashamed of
I mean, it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of sounds like he feels like he's being eaten up by his own like shame in a way. You know what I mean?
In a sense.
Like, it feels like he's kind of like getting dragged down by it in a way.
But you also mentioned changing lanes. That could be sort of changing a direction in life, and then but the thing is that shame will still linger with you. It cuts real nice as you change lanes. It's that sort of thing.
I mean, in like terms, you can always change lanes, but it's always there. You know what I mean? Like, so what I'm thinking is maybe he's like hiding it. Maybe he's like hiding it, and then he's referring to changing lanes in like because people when they're sad, you always had that front, and maybe that's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
That other lane, that other version of you could be a different lane.
But I do still think this does refer to. I mean, I said an average person before. I'll rephrase that, sort of an average middle-aged person, particularly because there's the next line where it refers to teletext has a special place in my heart. Now that was launched in 1974.
Yeah.
Now, and it was basically big before the internet. And then again, mentioning not just that, but also things like hot Zumba classes. You hear a lot of things about women of certain ages, trying to like lose a bit of weight because they think, I'm getting older, I need to start get fitter.
Yeah.
Things like that. Lost 10 pounds for the wedding again. A lot of people having weddings that sort of age.
I think it kind of it's got like a thing as though you're kind of stuck in this loop, and it's like to change it, especially when you're a lot older and you've just kind of been working and nothing like your fun days are gone or something like that, and things are getting difficult. Your body stop working slowly, and it's like I don't know. It just kind of feels like a bit of a push,
Yeah, I mean, there's also 10% discount. I'll show you how. Gregory's birthday in a placid town. Wow. Janine held the flags with my knuckles. I'm burning the Astra till the wheels buckle. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not too sure what that's particularly hitting at. I'm assuming it's being quite literal in saying that, like, well, this is like the average life of a person of that sort of age. You meet Gregory, there's some bloody place in the middle of nowhere. Janine held a flag with white knuckles. I'm not sure about that. I could just be referring to her skin. Maybe she's an activist holding a flag, but she has white knuckles. Could be her skin. And then bending the Astra Louis buckle, bro, for the amount of Vauxhall Astras in England.
Yeah.
They probably said, pick a typical car. There we go. So yeah, I feel like that might be the thing of the song, and sort of how, as you get older, it does get sort of very down and sort of, just down, essentially, is the best way of putting it, really.
Shit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, all right. Anything else to say about the hair?
That's it for me. That's it from me. That's what I want.
Yo, Dankeschön, because we're about to hop onto Danker real quick.
David, you got anything else to say, Nick?
Not me, no, not really. I think that's...
Let's move on, boys.
On to Dank we go.
Hey.
Dankeschön.
God.
Yeah, we gets anybody? No.
God, I was speaking German. Brilliant. Okay, all right. Harvey, do you want to start this off again?
No.
You're Mr. Man with all the notes.
Go on, Harvey. Yeah, go on.
I know you don't like this one, but
well, yeah, I don't like this one.
What do you like about it?
I think
I just found the song boring. I just found as a closing song, I felt like they were just like, how do we fill out this record? And they were like, oh, just put that song at the end. It's not that good, but it fills it out, doesn't it? And I feel like they've just done that for me, really. I mean, I tried writing notes on this song, and I just didn't like it. So the only notes I wrote one line of text for this song, and
What's
it was just
it's fucking wank.
it's just the weakest song of the album. That's all I put about
I mean, no, it is. I do actually think it is, but I just thought it just has that bit of lackluster to it.
It does. It absolutely does.
I do think
I feel bad for
Feels a bit
shitting on it
forced.
this much because it's such an amazing album. I just feel it feels so weird to end the album like this. Like it carried so much momentum all the way through this album, and I feel like this song just let it down a little bit.
I think they should have thrown Reigns at the end of the album.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's what they should have done.
I feel like I was going to say I feel like Danker is so much worse because you expect something big and loud to finish it off and say that's our third album. What the fuck do you think to that then, mate?
Yeah, there was a time where people used to throw either really slow songs or really loud songs onto the end of the album.
Yeah.
But I've noticed like recent like 5 years at least, that hasn't happened as much. It's kind of like, all right, that's it. We played you off. New album out,
Yeah.
I feel like for them it would have been really fitting if a really loud song came on at the end. I mean, it just would have finished it off for me personally, because I would have felt a lot more at ease that they did it that way instead, because it just kind of felt like they forced it a bit much to try and get the last song in. Yeah,
I mean,
it just felt a bit.
I feel like
nah.
I've given off the wrong vibes completely about how I feel about this song. It's like I don't hate the song. I just feel like it was really unsuitable to put it at the end. And it's not an awful song. It's just a painfully average one, especially by Idol standards. It's like it's not really very memorable for me. It's not a very memorable song. It's like the only thing I can really actually remember from the song, from like the several times I've listened to this album, is that at some points you can just hear backing vocals going, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." And it's like that's
Lego man. Hey,
that's literally all I can fucking remember from that song. That is it. I don't know.
It's
I can't
quite a
remember
poppy
what the
song
fuck
without
else.
the catchiness, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember what else happens in it. I remember there's a bit of like weird guitar effects in there, which I guess is pretty cool. Seeing as that again they've gone out there with the production techniques and stuff, which is great. But yeah, other than the weird guitar effects that they've done and the hey, there's literally nothing more to this song for me.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the lyrics of the song, it looks like what it actually does is it sort of stems off from the previous song. So in a hymn, it's on about, life's pretty shit, everything's down, it's kind of crap, it's pretty bland. This one goes and says, well, but true love will find you in the end. You will find out who was your friend. True love will find you in the end. And, I'll be your hammer, I'll be your nail, I'll be your house that allows you to fail, things like that. And it sort of stems off from that song. So what I think would have been a lot better is if they finished off on a hymn, but they instead had this, a bit like in Colossus, when it stops at the end, and then it goes a bit and then really fast. A bit like if they did that.
Yes.
But obviously a shorter version where it just says, true love will find you in the end, really, really quickly, less than a minute, just wrapping it up. I think that would have been perfect instead of making a separate song, which I felt was a bit...
I felt it was really weird. I don't know if anyone noticed, but it had an extremely abrupt ending to it, the song. I found that very interesting, actually. Like, if you actually I mean, I don't know if anyone's familiar, but if you're not familiar, literally just go onto Spotify, literally go onto like the last 2 seconds of the song and just listen to the ending.
Okay, let's have a listen.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
I've got it on now, one sec. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. That like stops like mid-core, mid-note.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird,
It
isn't
feels
it?
like they're trying to make you wait,
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Wait for something new or something.
Watch it. They released their next album, like, guys, the past few albums have always been a massive story that intertwine.
Imagine the next one's just called Dankeschön.
Oh, yeah. Nah, not even Dankeschön, just that song's called Danke and the next one's just Shun.
Shun. Shun the light on me, bitch.
God. No, but it is either way, in general, looking at Danke in particular, a bit of a weak link, but if it was just like a bit like the Colossus where they ended him and then just immediately started a really quick one for Danke, I think that would have been good, would have been brilliant, would have wrapped it up, still very meaningful, but no. But either way, as an album overall, how would we rate this album out of 10, guys?
We'll go from Harvey down to me, yeah? I'll be last.
Okay. I'm gonna start off strong. I really do think this was a strong 8.5 for me. I thought it was a brilliant album. I feel like it's stood its ground against the past 2 albums that they've done. I feel like the second and third albums are really where a band is most vulnerable, really, for me. Just into because you had that first out the initial first album that blows up, great.
Then
that's
you
fantastic.
second it with that, it worked, so you do it again.
Yeah, and then the second one, you feel that's the pressure really starts with the second album, I think, because you really got to live up to the expectations and the legacy of what you left with the first. Unfortunately, Idols were very successful in that. So obviously, naturally, third album, you expect nothing but the same, really, for me. You expect the same quality that you've just seen in the past 2 albums if they are able to get that far. And I feel like they've done just that. And, as I said, with bands being vulnerable in the second and third album phases, look who's just fucking come crashing down with what I see as a pretty abysmal second album, Fontaine's DC. It's pretty shit. Their second album was pretty shit. And I feel like Idols have just gone against all odds, brought out a third album, and they've all 3 albums just back to back belters, and I'm really just impressed with that. And you know what, if they bring out a 4th album and it's I feel like in the fourth album they should try something new. I know they tried that they went and pushed the boundaries with this one, but when I say new, I really mean they should. If I was
so you
Idol,
kind of think it should be like an experimental album?
I feel like the fourth album they should go full on experimental or go for like a concept album kind of thing, because I feel like they got lucky this time. I mean, I don't want to say they got lucky because they're quite obviously an extremely talented bunch of blokes, but I feel like if they try and do the same thing again for the fourth time and just add little sprinkles of innovation in there, I don't think it'll pay off as well as what it has with this third album. But I feel like other than that, literally, if it weren't for the last song, if it weren't for Danker, I'd give it a 9. I'd give it a 9. But just because it was a bit of a lackluster ending, it was an okay song. I again just want to reiterate, Danker is not a bad song. It's just an okay song that I just felt was a bit weird to finish on. But if it weren't for that, it'd be a 9. But let's forget about the negativity with that. Absolutely fantastic album. 8.5 for me.
I mean, I'd agree with you on that one. I'd say I'd put it around 8.5 sort of area. Again, I'm not as musically sort of savvy as you, so I more see things for just how it sounds to me and also the lyrics. The only thing that I could really complain about in general was, first of all, obviously Danker not being a little extension instead of being a whole song, and second of all, that I feel like it could have pushed it a bit more. I feel like, again, there's a few more experimental tunes in there, obviously like Grounds. But in general, I feel like they could have pushed it just a little bit more to make it that sort of perfect. They pushed it far, but they've still got that same sound. They still got that same Idols vibe to it. So I feel like, again, a little bit more could have been done. But in general, brilliant album. Love it to bits. Lyrically, it's excellent, as per the usual. Everything sort of links into one another. They all follow the standard Idols themes of the working class. What's the word? Political correctness. But at the same time, being very outspoken, speaking their opinions quite freely. I do quite like all of that, so I'll give this a solid. I'll stick with yours, Harvey, of like 8.5, maybe even I'll go with a 9 on this one. Actually, I'll go with a 9, because the only one thing I really wasn't a big fan of is, well, the two things, Danker, and they could have pushed it a little.
9. Fucking hell, a 9, lad. Go on,
mate. That's a big number. That's a big number.
It's only 0.5 more than. It's only 0.5 more.
I was going to say that's completely justified. That's a justified 9 for Max. Yeah,
I'd say I'd stick to a 9, just really mostly for the lyrical content, because that was brilliant.
Hello, Dave.
Right then, Dave.
You know what? I'd give it an 8 if it wasn't for. I think the last track and I think the placement of the last 3, I would say.
Why are you gonna nick my fucking thing for?
No, but it's got kind of one thing I've always liked about the sarcasm part and the kind of almost cockiness without being like very controlling, And I like songs like Model Village just straight because of that.
Yeah.
and it's also, I find it different, It's not like it's a strong song without it needing to be heavy, And I think the opening as well, like War and Grounds, they slap you in with the idols that we're used to, but at the same time kind of lets you know it is a bit different, and like I think like you, Harvey, Reigns has kind of got that thing as well, It's got like that idols image, in the music, whatnot. Unpopular opinion, I like songs like The Lover and Him, because I don't know, I think it's just the way it's placed, at the place next to each other might be the reason. But I like honesty in the middle of like kind of the war sound that's going on, like the strong, powerful music and whatnot. So yeah, I'd probably give it an 8 because of that, and the sing-song part as well. Yeah, the whole like Mr. Motivator type thing, and Reigns is like singing as well as shouting,
Yeah.
It's his Addison.
Harrison.
I won't I'm going to start off with David. You're a knobhead. and I shouldn't have gone fucking last.
That's why I'm here.
I mean, I shouldn't have gone last. I know that now. But yeah, I'm gonna say I'd give it an 8 out of 10 due to like the placement and the kind of like it gave me a really good vibe overall, but the placement kind of threw me off a bit, especially with the tone, because I'm very much like I really like how things transition and how they fit, and part of this album just didn't really feel like it fit completely. So I feel like in the next one, they do need to experiment more. 100% agreeing with what Harvey said, because it just felt kind of similar to the. I know that you got to stick to what you're good at sometimes, but it just felt a bit too similar.
Yeah,
they need to kind of switch
like,
it up a bit.
I feel like if, as I said, if they try and do the same thing again, there's only so even the biggest bands can't continue to do the same thing over and over without it getting boring. I feel like this is just
changes. Yeah, it's good to the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be really nice and refreshing to hear something new from them in the next album.
Yeah,
sorry, I basically just interrupted your review. You may continue.
Well, I'd probably say my favorite song in it is probably War.
All right.
Just because it just gives me that really explosive vibe, and that's kind of what I love. I love that like explosive piece of energy. I love the messages you get across, and I personally don't think that a lot of people don't like spreading their opinion, and this like album spreads the opinion a lot more than what I've heard from them before. I'd probably say, because I really like the way that they express themselves. The music is very expressive. People are quite scared to do that now because obviously it is quite there's a fine line between what you can and can't do, but they kind of like sit just on the edge on this album. I don't think they go over it at all, but they express themselves, and I love the way it sounds. I love the vibe of it. I could listen to the album many times because it has that replayability, and you kind of get that. You get a different message each time, and that's kind of what I love about the album, because they give you a different message every single time you listen to a different song. So that's the reason I give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it just
very
fits
nice.
It fits
very
nicely. Very nice.
Very nice. It definitely gets the Big John at breakfast seal of approval from me.
Yeah. Love that. All right, so how long have we been going on for? This is about
way longer than what we originally fucking anticipated.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll second that.
I remember when we was like, oh yeah, we'll just talk about that album for like 20 minutes.
Because I thought we were just going to skim over it and just speak about the album.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going track by track.
Doing a full-on analysis of every track. That's what I was thinking. I mean, do you still want to continue with
it? Works. It worked for me. That.
No, I like it. I mean,
we found a niche going.
We found a niche.
Hey up, chaps and chapettes. If you've made it this far, I just want to say a massive thank you, and that's on behalf of all the other boys as well who was in this podcast with me. We had absolutely no outro planned for this, and we just completely forgot, and we kind of just went on a massive tangent and started rambling about random shit. So I've cut the episode off here, and if you want to listen again, we'll catch you in the next episode. Cheers.
Goodbye. There you go. There's your outro. See you in a bit. See you in a bit.